And it's developed a Dickie brake problem. It's losing a bit of fluid, so I'm going to see if I can find the fault. I think I know where the fault is. It's going to be a leak around the rear axle area, so we'll go and have a look. Okay, so I'm going to check where I think the problem is. On the back axle there's a valve which I believe is leaking, so crack the wheel nuts first. We'll jack up the car so the wheel's free from the ground. What I do here is I'll put the wheel underneath the spring so that if the jack fails or moves or slips, then it's not going to squash me. Right. So this is the little gizmo I believe is causing the problems. This is called a load compensation valve. And what it does is as you load down the tray with more weight, then it'll move this lever and it distributes more pressure to the back brakes from the front. So normally you'd just use your front brakes. When you've got a load on, you want both sets of brakes working. So this little valve I noticed had a weep for quite a while, and I think now it's gone into a serious leakage mode, so I'm going to change it over. I've got a new one, so we'll have a look. Okay, so this is the old load control valve. I've taken that off. It actually doesn't look like it was leaking too much, so, but anyway, it's probably about time looking at it. About time we got a new one on there anyway. So so there's the new one in situ. There's just 3 pipes and 2 bolts that holds it on, then you just hook the spring onto the rear axle like that. Pretty easy operation. Okay, so I've got the wheel off, and we're just gonna have a look, see, take the hubs off and just see what the damage is inside. So Mitsubishi made it nice and easy. They put a thread in the actual brake drum so you can extract them off. I bet they don't do that nowadays. It'll be a special tool. So these are coming off reasonably easy, thanks to the thread they put in there. So the worst part about doing the brakes is cleaning everything. There we go. Right. So I can see there's been a bit of a fluid leak. I'll just grab the little screwdriver. Need beer when you're working in the afternoon in the hot Australian sun. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just take this rubber cover off. That one looks fairly dry now. It has been, I can see a bit of fluid contamination They both look fairly dry actually, so I don't know where that fluid's come from. It looks like there's a bit of a wet spot on there, but anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to change those anyway. So alright, we're going to pull these cylinders off and we're going to change the cylinder and the shoes, so, and everything's new in there. It's about 5 years since I last did it, so I think it's due for another one. So to get the brake shoes away from the back plate, there's a spring and a retaining clip. What I do is I get a pair of pliers and push them in and twist them, and then that all comes off. That just comes off. You just push it and twist it, and then there's a pin that goes in the back of the brake plate. Same on the other brake shoe. There we go. Too easy. Now here's the handbrake cable. So what we've got to do is get that off. So that's obviously on a spring loaded. So you've got to sort of compress the spring and pull the cable. Easier said than done, eh? There it goes. There. So now we've got the brake shoes off. Just got to remember which bits go where, I suppose. Right, so the next task is to remove the brake cylinder itself. So for this job I'll need a 10mm open-ended spanner. This is the right hand side cylinder which has the bleed nipple on it. There's the old bleed nipple. Now we've got to get the tube nut to come undone. You've got to get it nice and snug on there because they could be quite tight. And if you get it wrong, you can mess it up and it's stuck. There it is, it's on there. There it goes. Come off. You come off nice and easy there. So I'm just undoing it with my fingers now. Right, so he's undone. Now I can get the 12mm socket. There's 2 bolts that hold the cylinder in there. Quite tight. I'm doing by hand now. There we have it. One old slow cylinder. So here we have somewhere a brand new one. So we can actually plonk him in the hole and see if we can get the thread started on the tube nut. Yep, it went in lovely and easy. Sometimes it's not that easy. We'll put our nuts back in. If we can find the hole, that is. Get the ratchet, make sure he's going the right way. I don't want it. Oh, there he is. Couldn't have had it. Give it a nip. Do the other one. Right. Okay, so I just got to make sure that tube nut's done up tight now. Yeah, the problem is the bleed nipple's in the way. I've got to take that out. There's the bleed nipple. That's better. I can actually get to it now. I'll just give that a nip. Stick the bleed nipple back in. Find the hole. There it is. Right, now for the cleanup. So just give it a few squirts of degreaser. Get the crud out of there. We'll leave that to soak in, and then we'll come and wash it off with some water. Right, so the brakes are on now. So new shoes, new cylinder. So I'm going to put the pin through the hole if I can find the bloody thing. There it is. I think somewhere. Got him. The pin through the hole. Put the back washer on and the spring. And I'll hold the other locking washer with the pliers. I'll push him in so the pin goes through and give him a twist. So that's it, that's all done. Now for the brake drum. So with the brake drum, what I always do is to rub the glaze off the brake drum. That'll help the new brake shoes bed in. Get rid of all the crud. And what we want to do now, these are self-adjusting brakes. So, and that's about it. So we're now ready to bleed the system. Yeah, so when I did the left-hand side, pulled the left-hand side of the brakes off, this is what I found. So I've peeled back the rubber boots there, and it's very, very wet inside. Both sides, and that indicates that both the seals were leaking either side. So all fixed now, hopefully for another 5 years. To bleed the brakes you would normally need 2 people, but this little device is a one-man brake bleeder, and it's basically a tube going into a bottle and a one-way valve, so that when you open the bleed nipple you can just pump the brakes. Okay, so what we do, we've got the bleed nipple open, the one-man bleeder connected, so I'm just going to give it 5 pumps. I can already feel resistance on that, which is good. Yeah, about 5 pumps or so, and that should clear all the air out of the system. So once the brakes are bled, we just get up there with a spanner and we'll just nip up the bleed nipple. So if I can find the flats on the spanner, there it is. So just give them a little nip then we can take our tube off, and then we can proceed to the rear brake lead nipple. So now we've got the tube, the one-man bleeder tube, onto the rear brake nipple. So I'll just slacken him off a bit. Okay, so once again, we'll just give the old brake pedal 2, 3, 4, 5 pumps, and that should be enough. Right, so the bleed nipple's now done up, so those brakes are feeling nice and stiff now. There's a little bit of adjustment to take up, but we'll worry about that later. As far as everything's concerned, we've now got brakes, which is real good. Yeah, so we do a bit of a little road test and try the brakes out. Get up to about 60 kilometres an hour. Right, we're at 60 kilometres, so it's feeling pretty good there. Beautiful. Feels a lot safer.